The world has lied to you about what power looks like. They have taught you that power is loud. They have taught you that it is aggression, that it is the person who shouts the loudest, interrupts the most, and dominates the room with force. They have convinced you that to be powerful, you must be a hammer, constantly striking the world to make your presence felt. This is a deception. That is not power. That is insecurity disguised as noise. True power is silent. True power is not the storm that destroys the village. It is the mountain that stands amidst the storm, unmoving, unaffected, and eternal. True power does not need to announce itself. It is felt. It is a gravitational force that pulls others in without you having to lift a finger. Have you ever walked into a room and felt someone's presence before they even spoke a word? Have you ever met someone who made you feel the need to seek their approval simply by how they looked at you? That is not luck. That is not magic. That is a code. Today, we are going to unlock the 15 silent laws of power. These are the ancient principles of self-mastery and social dynamics that the 99% ignore because they are too busy making noise. Once you learn these laws, you will not just change how people treat you. You will change how you exist in the world. You will move from being a reactive participant to a sovereign observer. The first domain of power is internal. Before you can command the room, you must command yourself. Law number 1, the law of the void. Most people are addicted to the sound of their own voice. They are uncomfortable with silence. When there is a pause in the conversation, they panic. They rush to fill the void with nervous chatter, with explanations, with unnecessary details. They believe that by speaking more, they are proving their intelligence. The master understands the opposite. Words are like currency. The more you print, the less they are worth. The law of the void states, always say less than necessary. When you speak only when it is essential, your words gain weight. When you are comfortable in the silence, you become a mirror. You force the other person to project their own anxieties, their own thoughts, and their own truth into the void you have created. Silence is not empty. It is a tool of pressure. By withholding your words, you make others work for your approval. You become the gravity in the room. Stop explaining yourself. Stop oversharing. Let your silence be the loudest thing about you. But silence is not just about what comes out of your mouth. It is about what is written on your face. This brings us to the second law. Law number 2, the law of the stone face. Your face is the billboard of your mind. For the average person, every emotion they feel, anger, surprise, fear, confusion, is instantly broadcast in high definition for the world to see. They are an open book, and because they are readable, they are predictable. And if you are predictable, you are controllable. The law of the stone face is the cultivation of a neutral mask. This does not mean you are cold or robotic. It means you are disciplined. It means that when chaos erupts around you, when someone insults you, or when a crisis hits, your expression remains unbothered. Why is this powerful? Because humans are social animals who look for leaders in times of stress. When everyone else is panicking, the person who remains calm appears to have access to information that the others do not. By controlling your micro-expressions, you signal that your internal world is stable. You become an island of safety in a sea of uncertainty. Do not give the world the satisfaction of seeing you bleed. Keep your cards close to your chest. Once you have mastered your face, you must master your time. Law number 3, the law of the tactical pause. We live in a reactive world. The phone rings, you answer. The notification pings, you look. Someone insults you, you snap back. This is the behavior of a puppet. The strings are pulled, and you dance. The master cuts the strings. The tactical pause is the deliberate insertion of time between the stimulus and your response. Viktor Frankl, the great psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, said, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." Power lives in the pause. When someone asks you a question, do not answer immediately. Take 3 seconds, look at them, breathe, then speak. Those 3 seconds accomplish 2 things. First, it shows that you are not intimidated. You are thinking. Second, it signals that you operate on your own timeline, not theirs. You are not rushing to please them. You are considering if they are worthy of your answer. In that pause, you regain your sovereignty. Never let the world force you into a rhythm that is not your own. And finally, for this first domain, we must look at the vessel itself. Law number 4, the law of sovereign posture. You can speak with the wisdom of a sage, but if you carry yourself like a victim, no one will listen. The body speaks before the tongue does. The 99% shrink. They round their shoulders to protect their heart. They look down to avoid confrontation. They cross their arms to create a barrier. They are physically apologizing for their existence. The law of sovereign posture is simple. Occupy your space. A master is rooted. Imagine a tree with roots deep into the earth. Your spine is straight, not because you are stiff, but because you are aligned between heaven and earth. Your chest is open. Your movements are slow and deliberate. A predator does not move quickly unless it is attacking. Sudden, jerky movements are a sign of fear. Slow, smooth movements are a sign of control. When you enter a room, do not rush to a chair. Walk with purpose. Stand with stability. When you occupy space without apology, the world instinctively makes room for you. You have secured the fortress of your own mind. You are silent, calm, and grounded. Now, you must look outward. The world is a marketplace of intentions, agendas, and hidden games. The 99% walk through this marketplace blindfolded, projecting their own desires onto others. The master walks through it with eyes wide open. This brings us to the laws of interaction. Law number 5, the law of the mirror. In any interaction, the person speaking is the one giving away power. The person listening is the one harvesting it. But most people do not listen. They reload. They are waiting for their turn to speak. The law of the mirror teaches you to use listening as a weapon of influence. When you truly listen, when you maintain eye contact, when you nod, when you ask a question that goes deeper than the surface, you do something profound to the other person's ego. You validate them. You make them feel seen. And when a person feels seen, they lower their defenses. They open the gates of their mind to you. They will tell you things they did not intend to tell. They will reveal their motivations, their fears, and their weaknesses. By becoming a mirror that reflects them back to themselves, you become irresistible. You are not fighting for dominance. You are absorbing their energy. Let them be the star of the show. The star is dependent on the audience. Be the audience, and you hold the power. Law number 6, the law of mystery. We live in the age of oversharing. People post their breakfast, their location, their relationships, and their future plans for the world to see. They believe that visibility is power. They are wrong. Invisibility is power. The law of mystery states, never reveal your full hand. When you tell the world exactly what you are going to do, you give them the roadmap to sabotage you. You allow them to prepare a defense. You invite their envy and their doubt. The master operates in the fog. He is unpredictable. When people cannot figure you out, they become fascinated by you. Mystery creates attraction. It creates a gravitational pull. If you are starting a business, build it in silence. If you are making a move, move in silence. Let the results be the only announcement you ever make. When you are a puzzle that cannot be easily solved, you occupy real estate in the minds of others. They waste their energy trying to understand you, while you use your energy to execute your plan. Law number 7, the law of the shadow. While the crowd is busy trying to be the center of attention, the master is comfortable in the shadow. This is not about hiding. It is about vantage point. The law of the shadow is the law of supreme observation. When you are the loudest person in the room, you are blind. You are too busy performing to see the reality of the room. When you step back, when you become the observer, you see everything. you see who is actually in charge. You see who is uncomfortable. You see the glances of envy, the shifts in body language, the unspoken alliances. Information is the raw material of strategy. By observing from the shadow, you gather the intelligence that allows you to act with precision when the time is right. Do not seek the spotlight. The spotlight blinds the one standing in it. Seek the shadow, where the vision is clear. Law number 8, the law of the gatekeeper. Most people operate with an open-door policy. They allow anyone to walk into their life, to take their time, to influence their mood. They are passive recipients of whoever happens to be around. The master is a gatekeeper. The law of the gatekeeper states, access to you is a privilege, not a right. You must ruthlessly curate who is allowed into your inner circle. This is not about being arrogant. It is about hygiene, mental and spiritual hygiene. Every person you admit into your life brings a vibration. If you allow people with chaotic, low, or toxic vibrations into your sanctuary, you will eventually vibrate at their frequency. The master tests people before granting them entry. He observes how they treat waitstaff. He observes how they speak about others. He observes if they keep their word. If they fail the test, the gate remains closed. You are the guardian of your own energy. If you do not respect the gate, no one else will. When people realize that your time is scarce and guarded, they treat it with the value of gold. You have secured your internal world. You have learned to observe the external world. Now, you must learn how to move through it. The mistake of the novice is to be rigid. They have a plan, and they stick to it even when the terrain changes. They are like a dry stick. Applying pressure snaps them. The master is like water. Water adapts. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. It can flow, or it can crash. Law number 9, the law of scarcity. Economics teaches us a simple truth. The more there is of something, the less it is worth. This applies to gold, to diamonds, and to you. If you are always available, always online, always saying yes, you become common. You become part of the background noise. People stop respecting what they can access too easily. The master understands the power of withdrawal. The law of scarcity states, use absence to increase respect and honor. Think of the sun. We appreciate the sun because it sets. If the sun shone 24 hours a day, it would create a desert. It would burn us. We would curse it. It is the absence of the sun that makes the dawn beautiful. Do not be afraid to step away. Do not be afraid to go offline. Do not be afraid to be unreachable. When you withdraw your presence, you force people to wonder about you. You create a vacuum that they want to fill. You remind them that your presence is a gift, not a fixture. By becoming scarce, you become valuable. Law number 10, the law of unpredictability. Humans are creatures of habit. We look for patterns in everything. Once a person figures out your pattern, they can predict your next move. And if they can predict you, they can trap you. The law of unpredictability is the art of being formless. Never let your behavior become a routine that others can exploit. Just when people think they have you figured out, change the tempo. If you are usually agreeable, introduce a moment of firm disagreement. If you are usually serious, show a moment of unexpected humor. This is not about being unstable. It is about being ungraspable. When you break your own patterns, you keep the people around you in a state of suspended animation. They cannot settle into a rhythm with you. They must remain alert, paying close attention to your every move. This grants you the upper hand. In a game of chess, the most dangerous opponent is the one whose strategy you cannot read. Be that opponent. Law number 11, the law of leverage. The ego wants to fight force with force. If someone pushes you, your instinct is to push back harder. This is the way of the brute. It is exhausting, and it guarantees that one of you will be hurt. The master uses the law of leverage. This is the principle of jiu-jitsu. You do not fight the opponent's energy, you use it. If someone comes at you with anger, do not meet them with anger. Step aside and let them fall forward into their own rage. Let them exhaust themselves. If someone tries to pull you into a drama, do not pull back. Let go of the rope. Watch them stumble backward. Power is not about how much force you can generate. It is about how much force you can redirect. By remaining calm while others are chaotic, you allow them to defeat themselves. You conserve your energy while they burn theirs. The ultimate leverage is to remain the eye of the hurricane, still, while everything around you spins out of control. Law number 12. The law of withdrawal. There is a moment in every interaction, every negotiation, and every relationship where the energy peaks. That is the moment of victory. The amateur stays too long. They keep talking after the sale is made. They stay at the party until the lights come on. They linger until the magic fades. The law of withdrawal states, leave while you are still being desired. There is a power in the exit. When you leave a situation at its high point, you crystallize that moment in the minds of others. You become a memory of perfection. If you stay until the energy declines, you become a memory of boredom or saturation. The master knows that the only way from the peak is down, so he steps off the stage before the applause dies down. He ends the meeting 5 minutes early. He hangs up the phone while the conversation is still lively. By leaving them wanting more, you ensure that the door is always open for your return. Control the ending, and you control the narrative. We have traversed the internal, the social, and the strategic. Now, we arrive at the laws of the spirit. These are the laws that separate the temporary winners from the timeless masters. Law number 13, the law of reputation. Your reputation is the only thing that enters the room before you do, and it is the only thing that remains after you leave. It is your shadow. The 99% are careless with their name. They break promises, they gossip. They act without integrity when they think no one is watching. They do not realize that reputation is like a porcelain vase. It takes years to craft, but only 1 second to shatter. And once shattered, it can be glued back together, but the cracks will always be visible. The law of reputation states, guard your name with your life. Be the person whose yes means iron and whose no means stone. When you are known as someone of absolute integrity, you wield a power that money cannot buy: trust. In a world of fakes, authenticity is the most valuable currency. Do not compromise your long-term reputation for a short-term gain. A clean conscience is the softest pillow, and a respected name is the strongest shield. Law number 14, the law of detachment. This is the most paradoxical law of all. The more you desperately want something, the more it eludes you. Desperation smells like fear. It repels people. It repels money. It repels opportunity. The law of detachment states, the person who needs the other least controls the relationship. This is not about apathy. It is about autonomy. It means you are fully engaged. You give your best, but you are not attached to the outcome. You are willing to walk away. When you are willing to walk away from a negotiation, you hold all the leverage. When you are willing to walk away from a toxic relationship, you command respect. When you are happy with or without the prize, you become dangerous to manipulate. The master finds his source of validation within. Because he needs nothing from the outside to feel complete, the outside world rushes to offer him everything. Law number 15, the law of the empty vessel. The ultimate weakness of man is his ego. The ego is a heavy target. It is easily offended, easily wounded, and easily provoked. If you walk through the world with a large ego, you are carrying a giant target on your back. You are begging the world to shoot you. The law of the empty vessel is the ultimate defense. Become nothing, so you can become everything. If you are empty, you cannot be hit. If someone insults you and there is no ego to receive the insult, the words pass right through you like wind through an open window. You are not defending an image, You are simply being. When you empty yourself of the need to be right, to be important, or to be superior, you achieve a state of invincibility. You become like the sky. You can throw stones at the sky, you can scream at the sky, but you cannot hurt the sky. This is the highest level of power. It is the power of peace. We have unlocked the 15 silent laws, the domain of the invisible, the art of observation, the strategy of water, and the sovereignty of the spirit. To the uninitiated, these laws may sound cold, they may sound calculating, but that is because the world has confused weakness with kindness. These laws are not designed to help you oppress others. They are designed to prevent you from being oppressed. They are the armor of the warrior who wishes to walk through a chaotic world without losing his center. Power, in its truest form, is not control over others. It is control over yourself. It is the ability to stand in the middle of the storm and remain the mountain. Now, the gate is open. The manual is in your hands. But a manual does not fight the battle. Only the warrior can do that. So, the next time you feel the urge to speak when you should be silent, or to react when you should pause, I want you to stop. And instead of asking, what would a powerful person do? I want you to realize something more profound. You are already that person. You just need to stop making the noise that hides him. The question is no longer if you have the power. The question is, which of these silent laws will you use today to finally let the world feel it? Gratitude.